It's important to catch these mistakes early on so that they don't grow into bad habits. Hey, I'm Grace Miles, the creator of Artidan.com, where creative people get smarter. The first most common mistake in beginner pianists is tension in the wrists. Actually, this is a mistake that a lot of people make even if they are not beginners. I found myself making this mistake when I was pretty far along in my piano playing. Tension in the wrist means that you're holding your wrist very stiffly as you play piano. Now, I did not notice that I was making this mistake, holding a lot of tension in my wrists, because I used to be a gymnast and I had very strong wrists, so my wrists did not get tired. However, for a lot of people, this will get tiring quite quickly, and oftentimes there's going to be pain in your hand, in your arm. So you don't want that. Pretend that there's a rubber band bouncing your wrist up and down as you play. Another thing that might help is as you play a note, remember that you can move your arm so that you can release this tension and have the energy move from your shoulder to your elbows to your hands. The second mistake is when the pianist's nails are too long. Now, when you play piano, your fingers are supposed to play like that with this tip part of your finger, but if your nails are too long, you can't do that. So your finger ends up bending the wrong way, and this puts a lot of pressure on this joint over here. And that's bad for your joint, obviously, but it's also bad for your music because your music is going to come out sounding stiff and unnatural, and when you want to play faster, it's going to be way harder. So the simple trick, just cut your nails. Also, this adds to the tension in the wrists that we talked about earlier as well. You want to be able to move your arms and your fingers naturally the way that they would. The third mistake is overall posture and distance from the piano. An easy way to figure out how far you should be sitting from the piano is to make a fist with your hand and stick it in front of you, so make sure that your shoulder is natural and this part, your knuckle, should touch the piano. That's how far you should be sitting away from the piano. Sometimes when students are nearsighted, they tend to lean towards the piano. When it comes to posture, make sure that there's a natural curve in your spine. You're not super straight unnaturally or, slouched over. Keep your shoulders loose, don't tense them up, and your feet should be touching the ground. If a student's feet is not touching the ground, then you should get a box or something for them to put their feet on, just because their feet should not be dangling. Just a quick recap, things to watch out for in beginner piano players. And honestly, this applies for people who aren't beginners, because I found myself making one of these mistakes as a performer. Number one is watching out for tension in the wrists, and you can solve that by being able to move your arm outwards or inwards when you play your pieces. Number two is having nails that are too long, because that does bad things to your sound and to your body. Number three is posture and distance away from the piano. I hope this video was useful for you or your students, and if you know anyone who will find this video helpful, please feel free to send it over to them. I'll see you soon. Bye! So it doesn't sound like anything right now. But the second mistake is nails. This is one of my pet peeves, when students don't cut their nails and you hear this clicking sound on the piano. It's kind of annoying. It's a bad sound, isn't it? Okay. Make sure that the knees are at a 90-degree angle, nothing weird. Don't cross your legs or anything like that.